Hello, fight fans. Welcome back to More Than a Fight podcast. As always, I am your host, Jose Alfredo Alcázar. This is your co-host.
One.
And then behind the camera, we have
John.
And we know it's been a while, so we're glad to be back. We're just going to get right into it because this past weekend we saw one of the most anticipated fights in boxing finally take place.
Pitbull? Oh.
And yes, it was Erroll Spence against Terence Bud Crawford. And we'll get. I'll give my take in a second. I want one of you to kick it off.
What? Me? I just think Erroll Spence was weight drained. I don't know. No, I'm just kidding. No. Crawford just shows how much better he really is. I think Crawford fought how he always fought. It doesn't work against Crawford. That's all. It'll work against 99% of other fighters, but not Crawford. Crawford was too strong, which a lot of us, me included, didn't think he was going to be stronger than Spence, but he proved us all wrong. His quickness, his timing, his reflexes, his ability, his power, everything was just on another level. That's my take.
Yeah, I think it was just the whole card of itself was probably part of the year right there. You know, just you had the best against the best, and then the undercard wasn't that good.
Yeah. I mean, Pitbull didn't look like we hoped he did.
Yeah, we'll get into that a little after we touch on.
But he did fight an awkward fighter.
Because me and Juan are divided on Pitbull, or our opinions differ.
But yeah, in the fight itself, Ben Scott. I mean, do you blame the corner?
No.
What do you mean? Do you blame the corner?
Do you blame the corner for Spence of not trying to adjust at all?
No, he doesn't adjust. He fights.
I don't think it has anything to do with that. I just wanted to see what your take was on what transpired before I give my take, just because my take obviously is going to be completely not
just give it.
Yeah. Well, no, because since Crawford jumped into the welterweight division in 2018 after he cleared out 140 pounds, because a lot of people seem to forget, and this was always pissed me off about people that talked about Terence Crawford when they pointed out resume. They never gave him any respect for clearing out 140 pounds. He became undisputed champion at 140, where he could actually get every champion in the ring without an issue. When he moved to 147, he never once shied away from anybody. He always called everybody out. Everybody. And the one thing that sticks out to me more than anything is when, and me and Juan were there, we went to a first take as fans. And this was the first time they did Canelo Golovkin, remember? It was at MGM Grand. But anyway, Terence Crawford was there. And I believe it was either before they went on camera or maybe they were already on camera. And they asked him about Erroll Spence. And this is when he had just entered 147. And Max Kellerman, when he was still on first take, and Stephen A. asked him, like, what do you think about Erroll Spence? And then in 2018, it might have been, no, it was 2018. He said, he's good, but I don't see anything special about him. In 2018 is when he said it. From then on, he's been asking for Erroll Spence to get into the ring with him. And this was before he had a title, before he took it from Jeff Horn, because that's the one person that he managed to get into the ring that was a champion at 147 was Jeff Horn, and he took his belt. From 2018 on, he had been calling for Erroll Spence, and this is why I hate what boxing has done to Terence Crawford. Yes, finally, July 29th, he got the spotlight he's been deserving year after year that he was denied. 2019, skip 2020, 2021, 2022, early 2023. Finally, he got this dude in the ring, and he showed what he was going to do to him before he even got in the ring, because he had the damn fishnet saying, I'm going to catch the biggest fish out there, or they claim that is the biggest fish. And I'm not trying to disrespect Erroll Spence. I truly believe that it was more PBC and Al Heyman that kept him away from Terence Crawford because they knew what was going to happen. And I've been saying this for a while. And yes, I have receipts in case anybody wants to say anything stupid. when I kept saying there's a reason Erroll Spence and the PBC do not want to get in the ring with Terence Crawford. Did I think he was going to do it the way he did it? No, I'll be honest. But did I believe he was going to beat Erroll Spence? Absolutely. Just not like that. He didn't just beat him. He dismantled him. With all due respect, again, to Erroll Spence, I'm not trying to be disrespectful. I'm just trying to call it what it is. He dismantled him. By the fourth round, you could see Erroll Spence had nothing that he could do to Terence Crawford to avoid getting beaten. Unless I'm wrong. Did you see something even in the second round after he puts him down? He put him down with a jab, as a matter of fact, in the second round.
He was off balance.
But by the fourth round, I saw his face just already looked beat the hell up. And I was just like, in the fourth round, I didn't think it was going to be that quick.
I mean, he didn't stop trying. He just was getting caught every time he let go.
It's just, I think Terence Crawford came in there with that mentality, and he carried everything everybody was saying about him, and he showed it in the post conference, and he carried it with him, and he's like, you know what? I'm about to show every single buddy that said anything about me. And by the second round, or by the end of the second round, we already knew who was going to win the fight. And again, I'm not trying to be disrespectful of Erroll Spence, but this was 1 against 2. And Terence Crawford dominated the fight. Maybe Erroll Spence got the first round.
Erroll Spence won the first.
I gave it to Crawford personally, but maybe that could have been my bias. But beyond that, he didn't win a round.
He won it on 2 judges' scorecard. And then after that, it was all Crawford.
This was all done with a plan, dude. They wanted to fight at 154.
Who?
For the rematch, bro.
Yeah.
Oh, stop it.
This was the whole plan,
No,
dude. Let
man.
Crawford win the first, and then Erroll Spence going to win the second.
And
I'm just
okay,
kidding. I'm kidding.
Even then, I do not believe it's going to make a difference. They're going to, let's say the rematch happens at 154.
It is.
What's going to be different other than the weight?
No weight drain.
No weight drain for Crawford either.
Wait, well, Crawford's smaller, dude.
No, Crawford said to Errol too. He said,
said-
"I
he
have
said
I have
that.
issues making 147 too.
Stop. He just said
With
that.
age, it gets harder to make the weight."
Nah. Who knows? Who knows? Maybe he looks
But
better.
more
at
so, I just
154.
want you guys' take on how it went down. Did you guys expect that
No,
kind of
I didn't. I thought
performance?
Erroll Spence was gonna fucking overpower him. That's what I thought.
Oh, so you had Errol
Outwork
winning.
him.
Or you
I
thought Errol was going to
I
win.
thought Errol was gonna outwork him.
No,
Because he usually loses the first 4 rounds, yeah. And I thought he was gonna lose those, and then he was gonna figure something out, but then lose 1 or 2 or 3 more,
Wow.
and Spence was gonna take the decision. But that's what I
Damn.
thought. But I was way wrong.
No, I didn't think it was. I thought Crawford was gonna win by decision, but not by KO. For TKO.
Right.
Yeah, and he was getting hurt every time he got caught clean. Spence was.
The thing that I can't remember what round I started noticing it, but I even stopped watching what Errol Spence was doing because I noticed just how in tune Terence Crawford was, or how switched on Terence Crawford was. He started to catch Errol Spence's punches with his glove. If you guys go back and watch the fight, because I'm going to, just because I want to pay more attention to what Terence Crawford did and how amazing his performance was. He has his guard up, and even then he blocks his punches beautifully. But at one point, you could see his glove. He's anticipating when to turn the glove to catch the punch. If you watch the fight again, watch for that. Terence Crawford starts to catch Errol Spence's punches. Sometimes before Errol throws them, he knows where they're going to be, and he starts to just catch them. That level of just ring IQ, boxing, it was just a performance for the ages. I don't know what you can even compare it to. And more so because Errol Spence on paper was number one, the number one fighter at 147 pounds.
He did have 3
Three
titles,
belts.
So yes.
3 belts. I have an issue with how he got the 3, but that's just me. He's number 1. He's fighting number 2. So he's the favorite on paper. Obviously, Vegas didn't agree. Vegas had Terence Crawford number 1. But my point being is Terence Crawford came in there and made number 1 look average. Again, I'm not trying to be disrespectful to Errol Spence. I'm just saying he put on a performance for the ages and made the number 1 guy look average. And that just is something that is hard to put into words because of the type of performance that Terence Crawford put. And even to me, if John wants to touch on it, what Stephen A. Smith said, I think was a little too far.
Well,
No.
that's boxing. So for Errol Spence, you see people calling for his retirement. It's boxing. They take the losses too hard. That's all it is. It's for sure. Does it make you question whether Spence really was affected by the car accident and all that stuff? I don't think so. I just think we have to see more fights.
But here's why I throw that argument away, and I would argue with that right away if they bring that point. If somebody tries to bring that I don't want to use the word excuse, but if somebody tries to bring that point up, he went and fought Danny Garcia after the car accident. Danny Garcia, as we all know, is no slouch, and he beat Danny Garcia. Had Danny Garcia maybe looked better against him, maybe people would have said, "Oh, the car accident." But now when Terence Crawford does it, and in the fashion in which he did it, why are we bringing it up?
I made it obvious it was the fact.
So no, I'm not, and I know Errol Spence did not say anything about
He
that.
made zero
And all due
excuses.
respect to Errol Spence, because he took it like a man, he has not said one word. Deontay Wilder has unfortunately come out and said something silly, but I'm not surprised by that, because unfortunately Deontay Wilder, something happened to that man against Tyson Fury where he just feels the need to say stupid things and can't accept the loss till this day. And I don't know why. But anyway, I digress. My point is, what Terence Crawford did, to me, puts him in there with Sugar Ray Leonard, with Marvin Hagler, with the likes of Roberto Duran before the No Mas fight. To me, he's up there with the best to ever do it at 147 in the history of boxing, period. The way he dismantled Errol Spence, one for the ages. I just don't see. And who else can touch him
He's gonna
right
fight
now?
Boots.
Nah.
He has Boots and Ortiz to go through still.
No, Ortiz. I think they made it clear Ortiz is going to 154. He can't do 147
He can fight at
because
Well,
of health issues.
Oscar De La Hoya suggested Virgil
At 140 on 154,
at 154. Yeah.
not at 147.
Yeah.
But no, to me, yes, Boots is attractive for a lot of reasons, but at the same time, I don't think Crawford should do that.
Crawford didn't say he was
154
going to move up though.
against Jermell Charlo for undisputed is much more attractive than Boots Ennis at 147.
He's not going to fight Charlo right away.
Well, no, because Charlo already has Canelo,
Yeah,
and
he's gonna fight
Errol
someone
Spence
else.
already agreed, or already said he's going to sign the contract for the rematch clause
Yeah.
or
so,
activate the rematch
So it's
clause.
Errol
I'm sorry.
Spence next. Why even think it's someone else? It's Errol Spence next.
My point is, he's going to fight Earl again. Jermell has Canelo in September. So we could see Jermell and Crawford in 2024.
Jermell ain't going to do it.
Why not?
No. What are
He's
you
not gonna do
talking
it.
about? Jamel's not going to do it. Did you see him at the fight when he was watching Spence get beat? Because you got to think,
No.
Spence.
Like they had camera or they.
Yeah, they had
No,
him on
you
him.
see,
You
you
can see
see
him in the
somebody
background.
make close-ups of it, right? And also Crawford, when he did the first knockdown, was yelling at Charlo in the crowd, "You're next," right?
Oh,
So you got to think, right, that Charlo trains with Spence all the time. Spence probably fucks him up every once in a while in sparring and training,
right.
and he's like, "This is the guy I have trouble training with,
I see.
just getting smoked by Crawford. What do I do?"
I mean, ideally, yes, Crawford wants that fight. He wants more belts, but it ain't going to happen right away. I don't see Charlo doing it right away. Especially because he's going to get beat by Canelo.
Yeah.
So you don't think it'll happen in 2024?
No.
Oh hell no!
And Crawford's already 36. It ain't going to happen, dude. I don't think it's going to.
And I think it's crazy of them to say that they want to try to do the fight before the end of the year.
I mean,
Spence's
ideally, yes,
side.
I want to, but it's not.
Like-
Earl Spence wants that at the end of the year. Yeah, I think that I
Nah.
agree with you. I think he took a beating, and them fighting in December again isn't going to make a difference whether it's at 154 or not. I don't think Earl Spence should fight again this year, and Terence Crawford should look for somebody else to fight in December. I don't know who that is. I think it should be somebody at 154 like Brian Castano. I would love to see that one because then he could take on the guy that gave Jermell some trouble. And I don't see anybody at 154 beating Terence Crawford either.
Yeah. All right.
And if I'm him, I go after Jermell I make the PBC make that fight. Because imagine if he does get Jermell in the ring, he'll be undisputed at 140, 147, and potentially at 154.
He's not gonna get
Three
it.
different weight classes undisputed.
That'd be ideal.
I don't think that's ever been done in boxing.
No,
It's
it
not
never
gonna
has.
happen.
But it's not gonna happen.
I disagree with you guys. I think there's a very
They're not
good
gonna- they're not gonna
possibility,
give him the fight.
especially if the money's right. Especially if the money's
They're
right.
not gonna give him
And
the fight.
Jermell Charlo, to his credit, isn't the kind of guy to run from fights. Look at his resume. And that's another thing you assholes always pointed out about Terence Crawford. And I always said, the man wants those fights. He just never got them. So don't give me any shit about resumes anymore, especially you idiots that would always point that out. He took on the number one fighter at 147 and made him look average. Resume my ass. But anyway, Jermell has fought the top guys at 154. I don't see him running from Terence Crawford. And that's me giving him respect because he's shown it throughout his career. Jermell Charlo does not run.
I don't know.
All right.
I don't
and
think it'll happen.
Let's move on to the co-main. And we had Pitbull Cruz versus Giovanni Cabrera. What is it, Cabrera? Yeah.
Awkward style running.
Yeah.
Made Pitbull look bad. That's what I'm gonna say. But Pitbull did throw the same combo over and over and over and over. That was bad too.
Yeah, no, he didn't have much. Not much versatility in his arsenal. He didn't really do.
High difference was bothersome for sure, but it's always gonna be. Fuck, dude, it looks like a 6-inch difference. Fuck.
No,
it is.
yeah. Again, I like Pitbull, but I just don't think he's as good as they say he is, or I've seen that he
No one
is. With all
says
due
he's that
respect,
good. He just gave. Devontae a
Cabrera, I
good
think,
fight.
did well in spots. He definitely kept his distance at times. Obviously, with the clip you're showing, it's hard to
Well,
say
he was
that.
undefeated for a reason. He's no slouch.
But no, Pitbull just didn't show enough versatility. And I think if he gets in the ring with Tank again, which is his goal, and who wouldn't want to get in the ring with Tank, especially because of what he's been doing, and that'd be a nice payday for Pitbull. I don't think the outcome will be much different. I actually think Tank might do a little bit better this time. I think it'll still go the distance because Pitbull is one of those guys that I don't think anybody can knock out. I think maybe you could drop him, but I don't think you can knock him out. He's just got that kind of chin. But I mean, I didn't like the headbutts. I thought he could have done without that. I that's what really just. I was already iffy about Pitbull, but him doing the headbutt thing, I didn't like that at all. I thought that was below him, and he didn't need to do that against Cabrera. But maybe he felt he needed to because
Oh,
Cabrera was
frustration.
frustrating him enough. So. But do you think he'll be able to get Tank in the ring again based on this performance?
Well, based on the performance, Ryan's even calling him out. But
Yeah, I would like to see him fight Ryan. That would be a good fight.
I don't think it's good for Ryan.
You don't think so?
I think the height bothered him a little bit, though.
Yeah. That's
Well,
true.
Ryan would be the same. Ryan's
Yeah,
gonna be.
but not Tank. Tank's the same size, just a little bigger. Maybe he just feels comfortable fighting someone that's almost his height.
I think
6 inches
Tank
taller.
would have to be forced into a fight with Cruz.
Oh,
Like
that's-
Cruz would have to become the number one and force his way to fight Tank because Tank's not gonna take that fight if he doesn't
Well,
have
he's not
to.
ranked number 1 after this. He should be. Well, in one
got
of the,
2
He
belts.
has to. He has to. Be up
And
there.
usually when you're somebody of Tank Davis's stature, the sanctioning bodies will.
What do you mean, like 5'5",
Will
or
do
what
things
you
what
mean?
they need. Will make things work for you. Let's put it that way, because the sanctioning bodies are always coming up with some dumbass excuse as to why this guy can bypass this guy, but no, this guy has to fight that guy. It's nonsense. I just don't see Cruz. Cruz didn't improve his chances of getting Tank, is what I'm trying to say.
I think he
After this
did.
performance,
No.
I think he did just because he didn't fight as good as he's fought before. So he's like, okay, maybe shut everyone up. I'll fight him. KO him.
I think John's right. I think Ryan Garcia would be a more
But Ryan at 140.
Doable fight.
It ain't gonna happen.
that's true, because Ryan can't make 135, and we've seen that.
All right. Let's
Yeah.
go to Japan
Oh yes.
with another world-class performance with
Mhm.
Naoya Inoue versus Stephen Fulton.
Yeah. I mean,
What do you do? You know?
Juanillo, how'd you see this one?
He just showed that how good he is. That's really it. Because Fulton's no
Fucking
slouch,
Inoue,
but
man.
he, again,
I know
he
exactly.
made him look average.
And this is Inoue moving up in
Yeah,
weight.
that's what I was gonna say.
Moving
This was
up
him
in
moving
weight.
up.
And the raps, they had no problem with the raps. The Fulton camp was talking about them cheating.
I like how they're going slow.
Dude, he has nice
Well,
hands
no,
like you,
look,
Alfredo. They look
but
like
because
yours.
the team was there filming. See?
Yeah.
No, they were in there, yeah.
Oh, they were. That's funny. They were
Ah.
filming. No, yeah, dude. Naoya Inoue, man. If it
Complete
wasn't for
domination.
Terence Crawford, he might be number one at the pound for pound. But
Well, he
no.
was number one after Tuesday
Yeah.
until Saturday when Terence Crawford,
Yeah.
you know? And so
Just-
that's what's. But yeah, he just looked good out there,
But
man.
yeah, I know. He just showed. And Stephen Fulton is a great boxer. And Inoue showed him, okay, I can box too. I'm not just a puncher. And he put on a hell of a performance, just like Crawford did against. But that's crazy is he moved up, like you mentioned, to take on Fulton. Oof,
Yeah,
look at that.
he's
just-
setting up the
Mhm.
finishing blow with that stab jab to the body all fight, and closed it out in the
Ooh,
seventh round.
wham.
That was pretty great. No, I can't wait to watch him move to 126 and fight Omar Figueroa next.
No, Robisi.
No, he's gonna fight Robisi. You're right. Or no, yeah, were they talking about that?
Yeah.
So
They were
also
mentioning
talking about
Robisi.
that, but there was one character in the building that night, and that was
Yes.
Marlon Tapales.
Oh, that's his next fight for sure.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
that he's gonna. This is to unify the 122 because Tapales has one belt
Mhm.
Two.
and two.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
so
that's
Tapales
right.
has two, and this
wha-
guy has two
did
now.
he take two from
Who'd he beat? I forgot who
Dang
Tapales
it.
beat.
they mentioned it ringside.
I don't remember. Who cares? But he got two. He's the other champion.
The Eastern European.
Oh, it was wait,
But
hold on.
anyway,
Yeah,
Um,
that doesn't.
I don't think Tapales is gonna fare much better than Fulton. I just don't.
Oh,
It was,
Akhmadaliev.
Akhmadaliev.
I
Yeah.
remember now.
There you go.
The
So,
Russian
yeah.
guy.
They had him there that night.
No, but Tapales did look very good, and he was the underdog against Akhmadaliev.
Yes.
He
That's
boxed very
true.
well.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I think we all had Akhmadaliev winning that fight, didn't we?
I think everyone did. But no,
Yeah, and
Tapales
Tapales did
freaking
really
great.
well.
He
Yeah,
looked
no.
good.
So, and then that's kind of the next point I want to bring up too about Inoue is fighting Tapales. They're gonna do it in Japan, right?
Yes.
You know, because
That's
I
where the
mean,
money's
look
at.
this. He sells.
Yeah,
the
I was
place
gonna
out.
say, look at that. Why would you
Yeah.
go anywhere else? And I'm
Yeah.
sure Stephen Fulton got a nice payday for going to Japan. And a credit to Stephen Fulton for taking this fight because he made the fight happen. Because he's with PBC and Al Heyman, and he asked for this fight, so they gave him permission to go to ESPN/Top Rank and make this fight happen. So let's not take any credit away from Stephen Fulton, even though it wasn't a loss, but still, much respect to him for going after Naoya Inoue.
What kind of style could give him trouble though?
Inoue?
I think someone taller. That's why I said Figueroa. Taller, relentless. I can take a punch. That's because if you try to box him, he's gonna do what he did to Fulton.
But do you think that his management team will let him take on somebody like Figueroa? Because he has to go up
He's gonna
again
go up to
to fight
126.
Figueroa.
Well, if he unifies here, why is he gonna stay at 122? Isn't he gonna want to get belt at 126?
I mean, that's a good point.
Robesi,
Well,
I don't
Robesi's
know.
going to be who they're going to offer him, I think,
Yeah.
because he's
He
with
is a
Top Rank.
champion.
And what is
I
it?
mean, I would love to see him fight Figueroa. I think that would be interesting. But then again, Figueroa gets hit a lot.
He does, but he's never been
And
hurt.
we've seen what Inoue can do.
Figueroa's never
and
been hurt. I don't
keeps
remember he
doing.
has.
Okay, yeah, but Inoue could very well be that special kind of fighter that his power is like Manny Pacquiao. Doesn't matter how many weight divisions he goes up, he's still putting guys down.
Mhm.
Well, this would probably be one of the other next fights is Robisi Ramirez versus Shintaku.
Who cares? But yeah, he got his ass beat.
Got his ass beat. Yeah, this is in the 6th round. Knocked him
Damn.
down a couple times.
Yeah, Robesi had a bad start to his pro career. He lost his first fight, but
Mhm.
I mean, the hype he's showing now was real because he's
Yeah.
freaking looking great.
Yeah, he looked really good at this fight, dominated. But that would be at 126, correct?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, so if he unifies with Tabales, I see it happening after. Why waste time?
That would be a quick stint, no, at one weight class for
Right,
Inoue.
if he unifies,
2
well,
fights.
if he
No,
unifies,
that's what I'm
well,
saying.
why stay?
He
Yeah.
could now out of anybody, Inoue could unify 3.
Yeah, he could, maybe.
He could be undisputed in 3.
I mean,
Yeah.
but 126 has a lot of good fighters, though.
No, 100%. Don't get me wrong, but
Santa Cruz is the best in the weight
but
there.
the fights are much easier to make.
Santa Cruz, who?
Leo, bro.
No sea mamón.
All
Leo
right.
Santa Cruz.
All right, so he has a belt, I think, at 126
Oh, don't
still.
say
I
that.
think he
I
does.
hope not. Oh my! If they still have that dude, man, come on.
I think he still has a
But
belt
no,
at
no,
126.
you're right. Inoue right now and Terence Crawford are 1 and 2. I have Terence Crawford at number 1, obviously without a doubt, in my opinion. But Inoue is number 2. I don't see who do you have above Inoue
Canelo.
at pound for pound.
Canelo.
No.
No, say wait.
John reacted before you.
Obviously, we would have loved to have seen Alexander Usyk take on Tyson Fury this year, but Tyson Fury has other plans, and for some damn reason, he is prolonging that fight, which is garbage. But that's a story for another day.
So this weekend.
I was gonna say that's there. You go. Please.
So this
thank you.
weekend we have the main event: Jake Paul versus Nate Diaz, and Amanda Serrano versus Heather Hardy.
Oh, I didn't
That's
realize, I
not-
didn't
that's
realize
easy
that
for
Serrano
Amanda.
was under the.
That's
in
easy
this
for
one.
Serrano.
Well, basically all the boxers are on the left, so except maybe Avila. Avila's Nate's boy.
Yes,
they're
I
all-
was gonna
they're
say
all-
yeah.
They're all MVP fighters.
Yeah, so
Ah.
Serrano. Yeah, Silva's his main guy.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure who Sanchez. Oh, yeah, I have seen
But
Sanchez.
Chris Avila versus Jeremy the Heathen Stevens.
Okay.
I mean, I'll watch it, of course.
I mean, he got beat by Aldo, right, in boxing.
yeah, I'll watch it.
It was
But
still a decent
every fight should be pretty. All the MVP fighters should win pretty.
Yeah.
Well, except for the main event. I don't know. I mean, I think Jake Paul.
Yeah, unfortunately.
I mean, I've always liked Nate, but I always thought he was a little overrated. Even his boxing, much they try to make it seem.
So you guys think he's gonna get beat,
I think Jake Paul's gonna beat him.
John?
Yeah, unfortunately. I mean, what is it? Bobby King Green from the UFC said that if Nate makes it out of the first round, then everything goes up in the air. But
Really?
they're going for, what is it, 10 rounds, right?
I don't know.
I thought Nate was a really
Mm.
good stand-up, or was his
Everyone
stand-up's
always
been
tried
his
to
calling
say,
card.
Everyone
no?
always tried to say his boxing was amazing, and I never really.
Oh, I
thought it
didn't say
was.
amazing.
No. What
Okay,
it
never
is-
mind. After seeing that right
His
there, never
cardio
mind.
is good. His power is not crazy. Not-
That's the
Unless he's
problem.
just doing that for the video, because what he just showed there.
who knows?
No, what it is
yeah,
is
maybe
that
it won't. Maybe it won't last long.
he can take a punch,
Right.
he can keep going no matter what damage he is, right? He keeps throwing, like the first McGregor fight. He
Again,
was fucked up.
he was fighting at 155 forever, though.
Yes.
And then as soon as he moved to 170 in the UFC, everyone ragdolled him.
And that's the biggest issue we're coming up with, is that fucking Jake Paul is a big boy.
Yeah,
Like,
he is. He is a big
You know what I
dude.
mean? So it's not. I don't think it's gonna go well for Nate. He never does well with competitors who are much bigger than him.
Okay, so this isn't gonna be much of a fight, is what you're saying.
I mean, I hope it is. I hope I'm wrong.
I hope so.
There's people that claim, Andre Ward claimed Nate Diaz boxing was great, but that's his buddy. I
Really?
don't know.
Yeah.
Andre Ward said
And
that.
then
Because he used to train with him.
and then
I didn't know that.
supposedly that he was sparring this guy who was like 30-0, and did not look great.
Okay,
Yeah. But
got it.
that's what for the weekend. There is a couple cards, but nothing big.
Nothing big. Yeah, that's
Right.
it.
Yeah.
So I'll be watching that.
Okay.
And maybe a little
Got it.
UFC, but a couple fights on Friday. But nothing.
Nothing of significance.
Yeah, I mean, you got what's his face? Hold on. It was never mind.
No, I don't even know why you're looking. I don't even know.
Elijah Pierce versus Mike Plania,
Fuck, if you paid me
Okay.
money to say who they were, I don't know who they are.
or Jordan White versus Eridson Garcia.
Nope.
Right.
No
That's
clue.
gonna be on Showtime. Nothing much.
They're show that Showbox, and they're. I mean, I'm sure I'll watch it because I do enjoy it, but I don't know who they are. So I think that's it for this week.
Yep.
We're happy to be back.
Yes, thank you guys. Yes,
we
sorry
needed a
about the
little break,
delay
but
or
we're
the break. I'm
back.
sorry. Yeah.
And hopefully, only going to get better from here.
Mm. And as always, please check out our social media. Like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell notification button, and we'll update our thing to say X because apparently it's not Twitter now.
Yep.
So
Exactly.
we'll fix that.
The XS pronounced Twitter, dude.
Yeah, it's
Oh, yeah,
still
there you
Twitter
go.
to me. I'm just gonna leave it.
All right.
All right, just bleed.